Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Go over and get you a free audiobook 30-day free trial over at www.audibletrial.com/nerdcave. You can be picking up Timothy Zahn's new book, Thrawn. It's freaking awesome. Or you can get Ahsoka. You can get all these Star Wars books because everybody loves Star Wars. If you don't love Star Wars, what are you doing with your life? There's over 180,000 titles, though, to choose from. You can get it on your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle. And if you have an MP3 player and what are you doing with your life, you can get that there as well. So go over to audibletrial.com/nerdcave and grab you one of those new books. Get smart. We read at the Nerd Cave. We read. Build it beautiful. What's up, everybody? This is Zach here with the Nerd Cave Podcast, episode 224. And I'm joined along with the bearded sultan himself,
Robbie Rawls.
Robbie, beard always looking on fleek, my friend.
It has been lately.
We've got a ton of news, but before we get into that, everybody, hey, nice shout out to all the people that are over on patreon.com/nerdcave, supporting us over there, making dreams come true, keeping these hot lights on.
Very hot lights.
Helping us buy body oil so
Cheers
we can
to you. Lather each other
up. And, you know, that's not all they get. They get live streams each and every week of the podcast early before anybody. They get Let's Plays a day early. They can get the audio versions. It's been nice and edited. Oh, yeah. They can get the video versions nice and edited. They can be a Patreon producer and get shout outs in the show. They can get shirts. They can do all of this stuff.
They can do a lot of things.
If they go over to patreon.com/nerdcave and help us out over there. Toss a few dollars. And if you can't toss a few dollars and make Robbie holla, well, you can go over to youtube.com/nerdcave network and get all of our content on the podcast side for free, day by day, as we break them up segment by segment. Until Friday, we put out the whole kit and caboodle. We put that whole kitten out there. We didn't half it up. We've already murdered several kittens.
Many kittens. So we saved that one.
Yeah, we saved that one. We have a litter. We murdered one. We pieced it out through the whole week and we're like, here's a kitten.
We have the 2 sacrificial lambs.
Yeah. Well, you get the live stream one. That's like a brand new. That's like right out of the womb kitten. And then you get the early access edited one. That's a little bit older one. A little bit, got a little nice bow on it because we edited it. Okay. Yeah. And then you have the one that's been chopped up into pieces. That's what you get here at the Nerd Cave. So you can wait till Friday, though, and get the whole thing over on podcast services around the globe. And if you would kindly rate us on iTunes, it helps us out a ton.
Tremendously.
Now, we've got a ton of bloody news, and I'm going to shout out one person's name right now. Derek Daniel.
He's shouting.
Thank you for helping us out, getting all of these together. Now, last week we talked about PlayerUnknown Battleground reaching for that top spot, and it's just reaching that top spot of concurrent, consecutive C words that mean the same players. Well, guess what? PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is now the most played game of all time on Steam. When we last checked in, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds slowly becoming the most popular game in the world, and it topped Dota 2 as most played game on Steam for a time, but it hadn't beat the latter's all-time record of 1,291,328 concurrent players, which Dota 2 had reached in March of last year. Well, it has now.
Has it?
It has now. Battlegrounds today peaked 1,349,584 players as of writing this. The highest any game has ever had on Steam. Woo!
I want to see the audio waves on that rant right there.
This is also,
especially our woo,
higher than many popular games outside of Steam, including Destiny 2, and yet another impressive milestone for the game's popularity. The game still has room to grow as it's still in early access. Next up, can Battleground PUBG take down Overwatch? Can it take it down?
That's going to be a feat, but I mean, at this point,
how many is it?
Concurrent or sold?
Concurrent. Sure.
Concurrent 1,349,584.
Overwatch is at like 23 or 25 million, right?
I'm not sure. You have to look that up. You have to look that
You're
up.
the fact checker, homie.
Now, along with that, Steam has now crossed 15 million concurrent users at one time.
Oh, beautiful.
It used to be 11 million, but now we got 15 million. And they got all the crappy games that you could ever want.
Yeah, plenty.
And then you got the few gems in there.
Diamonds in the
That is crazy to me. I when we talked about it last week, I knew it was happening. I knew it was close. So I'm happy for them. How many we got over there?
It has 30 million registered players.
Registered, not concurrent.
So we can.
I'm trying to find like the actual.
It's okay. It's okay.
Because I'm a registered user.
I am too, but you see how many times I open that thing up. Yeah.
I would assume it's probably at, if that's how many they have registered, I'm gonna guess it's at least like 13.
Yes, because Overwatch does not run through Steam; it runs through BattleNet.
Yeah,
So,
it runs through BattleNet, and
so that would be a different thing.
And then they also have it on PS4 and Xbox. I know that PUBG is moving; they're eventually going to get out on.
Yeah, they're going to be on Xbox soon. So that number is only going to go up.
Oh yeah.
I think last week we said they crossed the 10 million mark in sales. Or 11 million. I can't remember off the top of my head. While Allie looks that up, Friday the 13th developers addressed DLC single-player plans. Despite a slew of technical design concerns, Ilphonic's interactive take on Friday the 13th has sold quite well. I am one of them. I love that game. On its forums, the developer posted an image of what it plans to release and when. The dates are not exact, but on the roadmap, you can see that Halloween and winter, or perhaps Christmas, are icons denoting that things like new counselors, maps, items will hit before the dates. So far, these are the things that we've received. We've received the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously.
We've got a free clothing pack. We've got Retro Jason, which is from the NES. Friday the 13th. We've got fast-paced maps, which are smaller maps, and that's as much as what has been released so far. And we've got several things real quick here. I'll run through them. You get a free emote pack, Spring Break 1984 clothing pack.
Ooh.
Can't wait for that one. Part 4, Jason, which will be very cool, I'm sure. The Jarvis House map. We get new counselors, new kills, new clothing, and then Halloween happens. Okay,
there's something big that's going to happen Halloween. It has to.
I'm sure it's going to be like 3 times or double XP weekend. It's going to be big. It's going to be a big hoopla there. After Halloween, we get Virtual Cabin 2.0. I'm not sure what that is. I haven't been playing in a few
VR.
weeks. Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna put my VR on. Offline bots, so you could train being as Jason. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we get the single player challenges demo. So we get some single player action before Christmas here. We get new counselors, then a new map, and then winter or Christmas happens. And then we get the new Jason, we get a new clothing, new game mode, which I'm assuming that's single player.
Yeah.
And then we have single player challenges, new Jason, and new map. So
it's a nice little layout.
What I'm seeing is like we're going to get a bunch of stuff before Halloween. We're going to get a bunch of stuff after Halloween. And then I will say the single player is probably going to be coming out February to March. That first quarter of next year.
Yeah.
And that will bring us into, 2018 pretty well. So I'm excited for them. The developer has also talked about how the Xbox One version has been getting its updates a lot slower than the PS4 and the PC versions. And they were talking about the patches, said the reality is that as of right now the cert process for Xbox takes the longest of the platforms, and if something happens it starts the process over again, said Joshua Jertz. So what they've been doing is like it's kind of a bottleneck, so they put a lot of things that they're patching all at once and then puts it out there for Xbox.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way to do it, but they are working on new content for the game, but they wanted to make sure the game was in really good condition before they started putting out the single player and all of that. And we talked about this about a month or so ago about them actually confirming they were doing single player. I am excited. What do you think? I
think bringing in a single player is going to it has its own challenges because, I mean, playing with other people is the funnest part of this game. So it has to do something extremely interesting in the single player. But, I mean, all in all, this game is going to be fun. I like the new stuff that they're bringing out, and I like how they give you a map, because that's usually where we're stuck, is not knowing when to expect these. And Friday the 13th is like, here it is. This is when you're getting it. Be happy.
Yeah, and it's vague enough not to like be out in front and be like, hey, it's coming out this date, and then have to push it back or anything. I like that they're, it's vague enough, and it's like, you should expect all of this before Halloween, right after Halloween, before Christmas, and then after Christmas you should expect all of this. So I'm excited for it. I hope with the single player stuff that we're actually going to get a story, not just the multiplayer in a single player version with just bots where you're just hunting Jason or you're hunting counselors as Jason. I hope there's actually some kind of story along with it. Okay. So that's what I'm hoping. Let us know what you think about that in the comments below. Now, this breaks my heart. It makes me cry inside, but it's something that I assumed was, but they're probably working on something pretty awesome. There is no new Batman Arkham games in development, according to recent statements from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Kevin Conroy.
Who is he?
Batman.
The Batman.
He's Batman. If you don't know who he is, we don't need to be friends.
I thought they announced it a while ago that they weren't going to be making any more, at least not for a while.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, I was like, crazy?
Is there a new Batman Arkham game in development? No.
Probably not.
There's not. Well, according to Kevin Conroy, who voices Batman in the game, there's currently nothing in development at all. Speaking to the crowd at Wizard World Nashville, the Batman the Animated Series voice actor stated, "I can't believe they're not going to do another one, but they're not. Isn't that amazing? They literally made billions of dollars on those games, but no, there's no plans to do another one. Sorry." Of course, when Rocksteady wasn't developing the WB Montreal game, Arkham Origins, Roger Craig Smith came in as Batman, and so did Troy Baker. He came in as the Joker, except for, not Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
So we could be seeing Warner Brothers shipping out the Arkham game to some other known quantity.
Yeah.
Some other WB, Monolith might pick it up after Shadow of War when they're, sucking everybody dry and, charging people to buy a dead man's character. Did I say that out loud?
A little bit.
I did. Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah.
But we saw a close to the Batman saga. Arkham Knight closed everything down. It closed up shop and went on its merry way. We had the Joker die in Arkham City. Everything's pretty much done here.
Yeah.
They've done all that they can. So I'm hoping that we're getting something that is like a Justice League game. A really good Superman game would be fantastic.
I agree. Done right.
Yes, there is. Read Red Son. That's good. Something interesting. A Green Arrow one would be awesome.
I agree.
Flash would be really cool as well. Like, there are several things that you could do, and with them doing Batman, I think Batman to Green Arrow would translate really well.
Yeah.
So
I'd even like to see some kind of like Teen Titans type game.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think that would be cool as well. I'm just curious how they would work that one. You know what I mean? Like the team aspect of it. So same thing with Justice League. You're going to have to work with something on that.
It could be like the Avengers game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, that's not really their style, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they've got that third-person, very, like, hands-on, fighting style. Ultimate Alliance is a totally different thing.
It's true.
And they already have DC Universe Online. So, I don't think they would go that way of everything. But it's interesting to hear, that they're not working on one from Kevin Conroy. Yeah. So, that means they're probably done for a while. If they go back to it, they're going to have to go before Arkham Knight. In my opinion, there was a lot of rumors and hints that the Damian Wayne would be, Batman in the next game. So it might happen, it might not. But from Kevin Conroy, there ain't nothing going on.
Not yet, at least.
Now, there is something going on over at Nintendo. There's been a ton of news from Nintendo this week.
They've been killing it.
And we're going to dive deep in that. We're going to, when that that dinosaur on Jurassic Park, the first one, was having like stomach problems, and they had to put that huge glove on and like reach deep in there and just pull it out, and like that poop was all the way up on the shoulder. That's what we're doing.
Yeah,
we're pulling,
sticking our hands up Triceratops butt.
We're pulling the.
Who's the Triceratops in this case?
Nintendo. We're giving you the poop on Nintendo here. Nintendo is working on an achievement or trophy system for Switch, says Indie Dev. The Nintendo Switch may soon be joining the ranks of other consoles by introducing an integrated achievement or trophy system, if the words of a group of indie developers are to be believed. During a Reddit AMA, behind the team behind Lichspear, I guess that's how you say that, sure, which is coming to Switch, were asked about whether the game would support online rankings. In the reply, the team member Tom indicated that they were hoping to add rankings along the way. It goes on to say, Nintendo doesn't have an official support for achievements and leaderboards like Sony or Microsoft, but we know that they're working on it. When called out on it, Tom responded with a guilty oops before adding that he thinks Nintendo has hinted it a few times. If these devs are to be believed, do you think it's a little late for Nintendo to be getting into the achievement and trophy system?
I do, because how many people have already played through a lot of the games for Switch already, and plus, achievements and stuff have carried over for Xbox.
Since the 360.
And I feel like they're late to the party, but why not throw it in there? I think it'll be fun for the people who are just Switch owners. I'm sorry that you're just a Switch owner, because there's so much great things on other systems as well. But people who are sticking to that'd be something interesting for them.
Yeah, I find it interesting that they're wanting to introduce it now. I know for me, I was a huge achievement guy. It was a huge thing for me back in the 360 days. Trophies, it's nice to see my rank go up as the more games I play, but it's not as big of a deal, I think, these days as it used to be. I remember 360 had them, and then PlayStation saw how big of a thing they were and introduced them a little bit later in the life cycle of the PlayStation 3. And it definitely, you had that culture, and there's always that culture with each system that you're playing. Steam has achievements that you can get as well.
Yeah.
But I think overall that tenacity that it used to have is much, much quieter than it used to be. I think it would be nice to have have this digital list of things that you've done in game. That's always a nice thing to see, just like the clans on Destiny, like, oh, I met my quota of experience points for the clans this week. Oh, I did a strike, I did a crucible thing, I got that checked off, and seeing all of that is nice. And be like, oh, I need to do this weird task that I didn't know could be done in this game to get this. It would be interesting. I don't know that it will sell systems.
It's not going to push,
but I think it will be something, just an additive to the whole thing.
It is nice, because I know me and you and our healthy competition we had back in the day with our scores. It is nice whenever we're playing with somebody and they're like, oh wow, you got such and such achievement score. And, yeah. And it's nice, but they recognize.
Yeah. Like when we were playing, I think Conan that one night, and someone was like, "Oh, and I saw your achievement score," and then saw mine, and I was just like,
"Yeah, you got ahead of me. I took a year off." Church cult camp.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think it will just add more to it. Nintendo's doing a good job with Switch. Allie, what do you think about that?
I think that. Yeah, like in the grand scheme of things, it's a little late, but now's a good time to do it because the Switch is so new, and so they're constantly adding stuff. So I think that now's a good time to do it, and they can be fun. And I feel like some stuff, if it's I think that they might apply certain things retroactively, okay, you did this in a game, not you killed these many enemies, you did this, whatever, because that
you beat.
But say you got this many milestones, whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like they would give you retroactive trophies or achievements, whatever they're gonna call them for that. But yeah, and then again, because they, at least the games that people actually want to play, there aren't that many of them on the Switch.
There's a bunch of games on the Switch.
I'm saying that people really want to play, the big ones. I can think of like 3.
Well, you've got Zelda,
Mario.
Splatoon 2,
Splatoon and ARMS.
ARMS,
Mario.
Oh, well, Mario's not out yet.
Mario,
Well,
Kingdom Rabbits, whatever, Kingdom
That's
Battle.
right, that just came out.
So that's
okay,
4.
So there's like 5.
But you've got some really awesome indies on there as well.
Sure,
Yeah.
no, I know, I agree. But yeah, I think it'll give people like, so you have all these games, and so yeah, the achievements could help sell the indie games, and it'll give people who have already beaten games like Zelda and all the other ones something to kind of go back and do. So I think it's good.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they retroactively do anything. I know PlayStation didn't, from all that I recall. But Nintendo news rolls on.
We're still in that Triceratops.
Yeah, just pulling it out, man. Nintendo is bringing back the NES Classic in 2018, responding to the tremendous reception that currently discontinued NES Classic received. The company has announced that it is bringing the retro system back in the summer of 2018 with new shipments. Nintendo says further timing details will be announced later, and it did not specify how many NES Classics will be shipped or if it will be available indefinitely once it returns. As for the upcoming SNES Classic, the company says it plans to ship the product into 2018 after originally saying that would stop in 2017. Recently, the North American president of Nintendo, Reggie Fils-Aimé, assured customers that there would be enough SNES Classics go around, and therefore we should resist temptation to be gouged via online auctions. I think, we've had problems with the Switch not having the right components to be made. Their production side of things has been very bad because part of the Switch is also used in like iPhones and like Galaxy, all of that. So it's been like Nintendo fighting to get these, and they see that the NES Classic is a much easier thing to make and just ship out. So they're kind of like tiding people over, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, the Switch has been a little bit easier to get recently, but I think this is just a way to kind of appease people, because a lot of people still don't have them.
I don't have one, and I want one.
Yeah, thanks to Derek Daniel for getting me one for my wedding. That's the only way I got one, because I won't go play in that game. I won't go play in that game, Nintendo. But I do have a Switch. So now this game, I can't wait for it to come to the Switch, and they just keep putting more and more into it, and that's why it is so freaking well received.
It is.
Rocket League is adding seasonal arenas, user-created tournaments, and more. Psyonix has detailed the next update as well as a long-term roadmap for its popular car soccer game Rocket League. In the immediate futures, players will enjoy new seasonal and standardized arenas, land support, and over 90 free items. That's awesome. The autumn update begins with seemingly small change that Psyonix says has been a big ask within the community: transparent goals. So when you're inside the goal post, like if you're inside your goal and the ball comes near you, we all know you can't see that thing. So now when the ball gets near the goal, it will go transparent so you can see where the ball is. So you can act more on it. So I think that's an awesome thing that they're going to be adding.
Yeah, that helps out a lot, especially your defenders.
Yeah, because there's some people that are awesome defenders, and then there's some people that are good scorers, and then there's me. Yeah. I'm neither. This change, which affects every map in the game and can be toggled on and off, is meant to increase awareness for competitors playing at the goal line position. In addition, all non-standard arenas are being converted to a rectangular shape for competitive play. Non-standard shapes will still be available in private and less traditional game modes. Players are also receiving new seasonal arenas on rotation for fall season. Players can compete in Farmstead, set on a beautiful countryside as leaves turn.
That is pretty.
The update also introduced a beta for director mode, and the beta pretty much, the director mode is going to let Rocket League be a more viewable and aesthetic thing. So you're going to see that a lot more in the esports side of things. With YouTube, like people doing these huge tournaments, which we're fixing to get into that. You're going to see that, and the AI, it's powered by an AI camera that predicts goals, shots, saves, assists, and cuts to the player. They're also preventing it where the camera is going to be like over here and like jump over here and do all that, which will, of course, disorient the viewer. So they're making sure that it is where it's going to be kind of a seamless, like if you're watching a football game, they're headed more towards that. Along with the autumn update, players can look forward to obtaining over the 90 free items to deck out their cars, from an avocado with a face on it to a dragon wings. Players can show off their personality more than ever. In addition, the autumn update is adding LAN support for PC players. Though through LAN play, you can host parties and local tournaments. The feature is planned to come to other platforms at a later date. Now, the big one is interesting to me. This one is just really cool. The big addition Science is planning, however, is a new in-game tournament feature. Through this new system, players can host anywhere from 8 to 128 teams. Could you imagine 128 teams? That's just crazy.
I agree.
So this is bracket style tournaments, of course. All game modes are supported, but if you're looking to compete in a specific way, you can filter to find the right tournament. To incentivize participation, Psyonix will hand out item rewards to competitors. This functionality is coming to Steam as a beta in late fall, but if all goes well, it will expand to the other platforms afterwards. The autumn update will hit your consoles and everything else on September 28th. While the rest of the features our long-term roadmap will roll out in later dates.
No, that's exciting because we could have a nerd cave.
Yeah, we could have a huge tournament. Huge tournament.
I agree.
That would be cool.
I like it.
I love that this small group of developers has made this game, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger
and better.
And bigger. Yes, and better. Jeremy Dunham, which former IGN employee, works there. He's one of the head of Psyonix, doing a fantastic job.
Agreed.
And with them going to PlayStation Plus, like just rocketed that game out.
Oh yeah.
And then it's just grown everywhere, from Steam to Xbox to PlayStation, and now we're going to get it on the Switch. Oh, cannot wait. Now, back to some Nintendo news. We're back in that Triceratops. Minecraft is coming to the new 3DS, not the new 3DS, the Nintendo 3DS. Nintendo announced during its latest Direct that Minecraft was coming to the 3DS. If you're impatient, you won't have to wait long, though. Either the new Minecraft Nintendo 3DS edition will be available digitally today, so it's already out, with a retailer version coming out later. The 3DS version of the popular game includes 5 skin packs and a pair of texture packs. Players will be able to use system touchscreen for inventory crafting or for accessing the map. The announcement didn't mention the special Nintendo themed world that was featured on the Switch and Wii U versions. So Microsoft, when they bought Minecraft, like that was a big purchase. They're making money hand over fist.
Oh my god, they're making so much
money.
It
is on freaking everything. So good job on them. Now I sent this photo of these amiibos to Allie earlier this week. Breath of the Wild Champion amiibos have been detailed. The brief mention of the Champion's Ballad DLC for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild in today's Nintendo Direct was not a detailing of the DLC itself, but rather the use of Champion amiibo within the game. The 4 Champion amiibo, based off the 4 long-dead champions from the main game, will function much like their other amiibos do. The other amiibo does? The other amiibo... Yeah, I know. That's who wrote this? Where's this from? Game Informer. Within the game by generating items from the sky. The major way this set differs, however, is that each separate champion will also drop pieces for a helmet based on that champion's divine beast. Details what those helmets do has not been revealed yet, but they definitely look cool. The amiibos will be released on November 10th, which is a good bet for the window for the Champion of the Ballad DLC. And you can see them right there. They look freaking cool.
They do. And this is a game, like I said, I really, really, really want to play. I'm hoping... and we'll talk to Mom and we'll talk to Dad and we'll be like, hey, Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
I want the Switch. That's all I want.
You want to Switch?
Not the Switches I got as a child, but
Or you want to like Switch?
Nintendo Switch.
Oh, okay. Just making sure we're clarifying here.
Yeah.
Now, the news keeps going. I'm excited about those Amiibos. Might be the only ones that I get because they look really, really cool.
They do.
Awesome.
They're, also they're Amiibos, so they're going to be expensive. Now, if you're holding your breath, if you've been like Nintendo, I'm going to hold my breath until I get the Virtual Console on the Nintendo Switch. Well, I'm sorry. I hope you have an oxygen tank hooked up to help you out there to keep going.
You'd still be breathing if you wouldn't. If you're holding your breath,
I know.
You still wouldn't be getting that oxygen.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to help them out. I don't want them to die because Reggie ain't like Todd Howard. He don't come out on stage.
Good old Reginald.
Yeah. Nintendo, though, is launching Arcade Archives on Switch. It's not the Virtual Console, so don't get excited, everybody. Nintendo didn't reveal any Virtual Console on Switch news during the latest Direct, but the company did highlight a way that Switch players will be able to access a variety of retro games. It's launching a new line of downloads called Arcade Archives later this month, starting with Mario Brothers. Starting September 27th, Switch owners can download and play a variety of familiar games with notable twists. Unlike the earlier releases of these games, which were available on Wii and Wii U's Virtual Console, these are straight from the arcades rather than their NES counterparts. The first game in the Arcade Archives series is Mario Brothers, and it features animations and gameplay elements like falling icicles that players who only know the game from the NES version may not have previously seen. Subsequent entries in the series may offer similar surprises, such as a handful of levels in Verse Super Mario Brothers that were later incorporated in the Super Mario Brothers 2, aka the Lost Levels, and the vertically oriented Punch-Out that doesn't feature Little Mac. Here are the Arcade Archives games that Nintendo has announced. Mario Brothers versus Super Mario Brothers versus Balloon Flight versus Ice Climbers versus Pinball versus Clue Clue Land and versus Punch Out, because it's got 2 exclamation marks.
Oh, that's why you had to put that extra.
I did. We're getting something.
You're getting a small sample, like when you walk around the mall, the food court, and the little lady hands you here, try this piece of chicken, and you're just like, oh, that tastes really good. I really wished I had some more.
I wish, the GameCube, like some GameCube games would come on. Like this is not Virtual Console. So.
No.
And then she stabs you like right in the jugular with a
toothpick.
And be like, don't test me again. And then that lady pulls off her mask and it's Reggie.
I think that's it. I think you nailed it.
I'm glad that they're doing something, but I would love to get the actual Virtual Console. How many times do I buy, Super Mario, Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
How many times am I going to buy that game? Never.
Yeah.
Because I got it on my NES Classic now. So you ain't getting that out of me.
Nope, you still shouldn't.
But if you love Mario, October is almost here. We're halfway through the month of September.
I know, it flies. So
it's flying like an eagle to the sea.
Fly like an eagle. Right, we can carry on.
Super Mario Odyssey Edition Switch is coming in October. If Nintendo Switch continues to be red hot at retail, odds are it will be hard to find this holiday, that is the hard line that Nintendo has to walk here. Like, the holiday season is the time that Switches, or like any kind of console, is sold. Like, that is where it's sold the most, because everybody's like, I'm going to buy a little Johnny. I'm going to buy a little Johnny and one of them Switches. Bill, are you listening to me, Bill? We're buying Johnny a Switch. I can go outside and get him a Switch right now. That's Bill. Bill don't understand.
Sure, that guy sounded like David.
If Super Mario Odyssey lives up to Mario's legacy of great 3D titles, the physical version of the game may be hard to find as well. That's why you buy digital, son. Why you buy digital.
I agree.
Nintendo is releasing a new bundle that combines the Switch hardware with its physical copy of the game. The hardware comes with 2 red Joy-Cons, as well as Super Mario Odyssey carrying case. You'll find this bundle on store shelves when the game releases on October 27th. October 27th. There's been no price given on this. So if you can't find a Switch that isn't a bundle, this might be the bundle you get.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on that. All right, more Nintendo news. I told y'all.
We're deep into that Triceratops.
Man, it is like Robbie's had to get a glove, and we're just pulling.
We're both pulling.
We're pulling all that Nintendo goodness out. Nintendo has unveiled the new 2DS XL models, including a Pokeball version. During today's lengthy, it's so lengthy, Nintendo Direct video presentation, the focus shifted away from games for a few seconds to introduce new hardware. Among those items are 2 new versions of the Nintendo 2DS XL. People who want to play the forthcoming Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon games, which are just Sun and Moon with a new coat of paint.
Yep.
And the style can pick up a Pokeball-themed Nintendo 2DS XL on November 3rd. The model features the iconic red and white tones of the Pokemon catching device. If you want something that's a little more subdued, or perhaps in the Halloween pumpkin spice spirit, which is, if you like pumpkin spice, you like cinnamon. Let's just be honest. It doesn't taste like pumpkin. It is freaking cinnamon. Am I right?
I'm right.
Am I right, Allie?
Yeah.
Don't be basic.
Don't be basic white girls.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't be an alley.
I mean, I actually, I'm not the biggest PSL fan. I don't know the last time I had one.
What is PSL?
I'm just spicy latte.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not basic at all. Nintendo is localizing their Europe's popular orange and white Nintendo 2DS XL on October 6th. No prices were given for either version, but we expect they'll fall in line with the $149 price point of existing models currently on retail shelves. Now, it's interesting that they are pushing these handhelds. Allie, look up how much the Switch is. I can't remember if it's $250 or $350. That they're still pushing these. I think part of it is, one, they're having a hard time manufacturing swishes. But I think they're still trying to hold on to
It's $2.99.
$2.99. Okay, so for $150 more, you can get the
Nintendo Switch.
The Nintendo Switch.
Well, that's
$2.99.
$2.99 for the Nintendo Switch.
$149 for the 2DS XL.
I misunderstood. I thought you were saying like.
Mm-hmm.
This, okay.
Yeah.
My
It's
brain
okay.
just totally
It's okay.
misread.
It's all good.
It's all good. Me personally, like the 2DS, the 3DS, like 3DS sold like crap compared to the DS.
Mm-hmm.
The DS and the Wii are the most selling, best selling Nintendo consoles of all time. So Nintendo is constantly trying to recreate that. The Switch is on it's on a trajectory to be close to the Wii. The Wii was a huge success though, and it's hard to recreate that. But we're keep reiterating these DSs, and almost everybody and their grandmother has a DS at this point. Greg Miller's mom, Jamie Miller, she's got a DS. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got one.
There's no use in trying to recreate that wheel because, like you said, at this point, just about everybody has a Wii, and not a Wii, but
almost everybody has a Wii as well.
Yeah, well, the
DS,
mm-hmm. And I mean, you're not going to get a lot of pullback because if someone has a last year's 2DS that still plays this game. Mm-hmm. Why would I go and upgrade to a newer one? I mean, the market's just not there anymore.
Well, and I think they kept doing it over and over. Almost every year to year and a half, they had the 3DS, they had the 3DS XL, they had the 3DS XLi, they had the 2DS, they had the 2DS, like XL now. They've had iteration after iteration after iteration, and phones, on the other hand, can do that. Phones can have a yearly rotation because every year there's somebody that needs a new phone. They've just messed it up or whatever. Game consoles or handhelds are totally different. And I think Nintendo needs to realize we need to start pushing everything Switch-wise. Let's get out the last bit of titles that we have that people are working on and then get people focusing on making Switch games. I think that's what they need to do. That's my personal take on it, because you've got a handheld.
Yeah.
And that's your main console as well. Like,
they're
there's
one
got
and the same.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even port like your next iteration of Pokemon, whether it be a Pokemon game for the Switch or, you know, something along the lines of Sun and Moon, like the next iteration of that, port it over to the Switch. Have it still be that same graphic and that same, like, style of Pokemon, but just put it on the Switch.
Yeah. They need to get Smash on there as well.
Yeah.
They need to get Smash on there. I can't wait for the actual Pokemon for Switch.
Oh yeah, the open world game.
Oh my god.
Supposedly.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good.
It's
gonna be so good.
100%.
Super Mario Odyssey's New Kingdoms and details. Today's Nintendo Direct. Well, this is a little while ago, a few days ago. The Nintendo Direct showcased Super Mario Odysseys as one of their 4 big games that the show focus on. It's not hard to see why, as the tentpole winter release for the Switch looks more and more amazing with every show. In addition to the new Donk City, I don't like New Donk City. Oh, that just sounds weird. Sand Kingdom, Luncheon Kingdom, Wooded Kingdom, and the Ghostly Cap Kingdom, and the Verdant Cascade Kingdom features very featherless dinosaurs that have already been showed. Several new kingdoms were shown for the Mario to traverse. You got his picture up there?
I got his picture.
Okay.
I'm ready for whenever
All right. The Snow Kingdom, of course, is a winter wonderland. And then we have the Seaside Kingdom with the most beautiful water level that has ever been in a Mario game. They're putting down sunshine.
My favorite Mario game.
The video teased some still unrevealed kingdoms, like a lush jungle drenched in orange glow and sunset. Now, the big thing that came from this. The big thing that came from this.
The 2 big things.
Well, they're not that big.
I mean, the 2 things.
The thing that set the internet on fire this week is Mario's nipples. Everybody.
Mario does have nipples.
He's a human being.
Why wouldn't he have nipples? I could see him maybe being a little bit more hairy in the chest area.
Like, I think he has to wax because Peach doesn't like it.
Probably.
Yeah, she has to deal with the mustache.
Yeah, like she's like, you can keep the mustache, but that Chewbacca you got strapped onto your chest has got to go.
That's the only way, because there's no way someone else is gonna be that smooth. Look at his arms and his legs.
I was just about to say, like, I mean,
he's
a waxer.
Yeah. Besides his top of the head, which I mean, we don't know if he has hair under that hat.
Yeah, he does. He takes his hat off and throws it all the time.
Oh yeah.
In this game.
Also, in Super Mario Galaxy, he would like take his hat off occasionally to be like, "Oh, my hair's all sweaty and gross," and then put it back on.
Well, besides that, mustache and eyebrows, homeboy's hairless.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Rufus from Kim Possible.
It's possible that,
But it's not more right.
Yeah. It's possible that, like maybe just because that's the money maker, the hair, the face, he's got to hear that.
Yeah.
But he's been hit by so many fireballs by Bowser over the years, he just all the other hair stopped growing.
No, I think he's a waxer. He gets a Brazilian.
He's down to the wax store down in the Mushroom Kingdom.
New Donk City.
Oh god.
With all the real people there. It's just interesting. There's amiibos and all of that, and we've already talked about the new Switch that's going to be going on there. So yeah, Mario.
What do you think of
has
his
nipples?
What do you think of Mario's nipples? Bad, good, indifferent?
Like, they're not puffy.
No, I mean,
they're not like eraser nipples.
They're just there.
I
don't get why people aren't talking about the swim trunks more. Like,
yeah, they're polka dots.
They're kind of they're like mushroom kind of,
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. Like, there's a lot to process in this picture, and don't be wrong, I understand.
Like, what's he looking at?
Focus. Yeah, what's he looking at? Is he having a good time? What's he running from? I have a lot of questions.
Like, he doesn't look like he's happy. Go back to the picture. Let's analyze real quick before we jump into the next story. He doesn't necessarily look like he's happy.
No.
There's a slight smile.
Like,
right here, but it's very, very slight.
It's like, I got sand in my shorts.
See, that's the worst part about the beach.
Yeah, I hate the beach.
It looks like his smile is fading, or he's about to smile. It's somewhere in there.
Or he has the walking farts. Like, you know what I mean?
We've all been there.
That's how he runs so fast.
The push of gas.
Yeah, just a little. No, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully, Hopefully he doesn't get a little Goomba back there. Skyrim Switch has been dated, and 2 other Bethesda titles are coming soon, which we talked about this last week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim is coming out November 17th. Of course, if you've got the Zelda amiibo from Breath of the Wild, you get Zelda's armor, you get look like him and all that. You get the Master Sword, you get all that. So that's really cool. Wolfenstein: The New Colossus has been confirmed for the Switch and won't be released on the October 27th date, which Xbox One, PC, and PS4 are getting those dates as well.
Everything's coming out on that day.
Yeah, everything is coming out on that day. It's very interesting that the new Colossus is coming out on Switch, because that game looks freaking ridiculously good on the other consoles. So I don't know how they're going to run that thing.
It's going to be downgraded. It has to be.
So it seems like Bethesda is really, really like doubling down on the Switch. So I'm happy about that. I'm glad the third parties are supporting it, and I think it's because they are seeing it being bought.
Yeah.
The attach rate to the games are huge. So there you go. Now let's pull off the glove, shake it.
I'm tired of wearing that poopy thing.
Let's put it away.
Allie, hold our gloves.
The Triceratops is good as and then is run off. The Triceratops also has Reggie's face. Oh, from one head of a company to another, Vince McMahon has been added to the WWE 2K18 playable roster. WWE Chairman, CEO, Vince McMahon.
I hate Vince McMahon.
Has officially been added to the WWE 2K18's playable roster. This isn't the first time Mr. McMahon will be playable in a new WWE 2K game, as he's also part of the roster in last year's entry, WWE 2K17, along with the rest of the McMahon family. WWE 2K18 will be released on October 17th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. So what do you think?
I hate Vince McMahon, so I could care less.
I think it's cool, though, because you're getting, like, one person that you hate on the roster.
Oh, the only reason I would, any excitement to have him is just so I can just kill him.
Go get Stone Cold and stun him all the time. Just stun him over and over and over and over.
Kali chopping doom him to death.
Now, in the article, it doesn't talk about this, but I was reading throughout the week. They've detailed 2 new modes, story modes, okay? You can be a company man, okay? And you are pretty much kissing the company's butt the whole time. Oh, yeah. And you'll run in, you'll do all of these different things, like they're trying to be on the company's good side, but you'll lose a lot of favor with the rest of the wrestlers and everything. Or you can do the more traditional, like, people's champion type deal, and you like make friends with more of the wrestlers and all of that. And I find it interesting that every year they try something new with 2K, but they never really make the gameplay fun. You know what I mean? Like, you look back at the old, like, WWE games, Armageddon, just all of these. I was more of a WCW man, so Mayhem and all of that. But those old wrestling games were so much fun.
Oh yeah, what was it? The WWE
SmackDown versus Raw and all that.
Yeah, those old ones like the NWO.
Yeah, and even with WWE Superstars. Like, it was comical, but it was still really, really fun to play. And I know that 2K is trying to go with a more realistic version of it. It's just not that fun to play, unfortunately. Yeah. So, and they've still got a lot of things they need to work on the gameplay side of things. Now for some sad news from the gaming industry, but we'll get a little bit into that. Bruce Straley, director of Uncharted 2 and The Last of Us, is leaving Naughty Dog. Announced on Twitter and Naughty Dog blog, Bruce Straley is leaving the company. Straley is best known as the director of Uncharted 2 and The Last of Us, 2 of the most praised games games period of the last decade. Straley does not say where he's going next, but mentions in his post his attention has been pulled in other directions as of late. After the announcement of Last of Us Part 2, it was revealed that Straley would not be directing the game due to his extended leave from the studio, which has seemingly culminated in his departure. Straley has been with Naughty Dog since 1999, with his first project being Crash Team Racing for the PlayStation. So our thoughts go out to him,
with whatever he's dealing with.
Yeah, I think he's moving on. I think he's directed amazing games.
Very
Uncharted 2 was such a leap forward in storytelling and just gameplay and everything. And then The Last of Us is still one of the best games that's ever been made, in my opinion. So having that much stress, being the director of those games, making sure that everything works well, that is a lot of stress.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a lot of stress just being part of that industry, making games, but being the head on that project, being the lead on that project is a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So I think, Bruce is probably, going to do something that is more, he says in his post, he's wanting to explore more of the creative process and everything. So I think he'll still be in the gaming industry. I think he's just going to be doing something that's not, a head of a game. He's going to do something that's more creative. So,
yeah.
All right, our best wishes go out to Bruce Straley, and
I think he'll do fine wherever he lands.
I think so as well. And thank you for the amazing games that you've given us.
Yeah.
So appreciate that. Now, something that looks like dog mess. It looks like Naughty Dog pooped this out because it wasn't good enough. And this is the limited edition Call of Duty World War II PS4 Bundle that has been announced. Allie, will you pull this hunk of junk up?
Yep.
Sony and Activision are once again teaming up to make one of the ugliest PS4s that's ever been made, which is a limited edition offer. If it didn't exist at all, it would be amazing. The bundle obviously features a camo-covered 1TB system and controller, and also comes with a standard edition of the game. It launches when Call of Duty World War II comes out on November 3rd for $299.99, with pre-orders starting soon. PS4 owners get a 30-day head start on the title's DLC map packs, making the platform the place to be for the game. That is the ugliest PS4 that I have ever seen. That looks like a crappy skin that you would buy offline and slap on your PlayStation.
My biggest thing is, how are they going to see to put discs in it? Or, I mean, that's my thing. I would lose it.
Yeah. Also, I don't get it. Like, what are you talking about? I only see the really gross colored controller.
God, I hate you so much. It's like PlayStation is not really trying these days with their consoles.
It's like, hey, there.
I remember we had the Xbox kills it with their consoles.
I mean, the Gears of War one.
Oh God, looks amazing.
Because Quentin had it at one time, and you could do. I think it's when you turned it on, it made the chainsaw red, and super cool.
Yeah, I know Derek Daniel has the Gears of War 4 one, and it just is beautiful. And it's just, I don't know what Sony is doing. They phoned it in with Destiny 2's console. It looks like crap. Destiny 1, though, looked pretty cool because it was that all-white one. But you see, compared to that ugly Call of Duty one, the Gears of War one is like hands above that one.
Yeah.
Hand over fist above that. Like, there's detail to it, there's care to it to make it look good. The controller has depth to it. They even have where there's claw marks on the controller.
I was gonna say, I really like the claw marks on the controller. It's a nice little detail.
But you go back to that monstrosity. That is such a lack of work. I could make that. I could go to D-Skins or whatever it is and make
nuts.
I think it's like D-Skins or something like that. There's something with a D in there. And make that. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is like a kind of a spit in your face. And the Black Ops 3 console didn't look that good, but it looked better than that thing.
I agree.
It's just I don't know what they're doing over at Sony. Like my gold PS4 over there, love that thing. That thing is sexy.
Like I think they're like, okay, well, obviously we're so far ahead that I feel like it's where they're not really trying anymore, and that's what. Yeah. And I think that's when Xbox, next system around, if it follows like that it has been, that's why I'm happy that we have these days where Xbox is on top and then PlayStation's on top the next, because it keeps us from having a lot of crap like that.
Yeah, look at that thing. That thing is ugly.
Okay, if you had to pick between this one and this one,
I would go with Black Ops 3.
Honestly, I would go with the camo specifically because of the controller. It looks really cheap because of the colors.
Yeah, but that camo on the actual console,
I'd cover it up with something else.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you could have one of these babies right here. Let's go. Let's go with controller.
But
used to kiss me like
they're
that.
both really gross, and I would rather have neither.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in you, Activision. You money grubbers. Oh, report! Dragon Age 4 may not be the next game in the RPG series.
That hurts my heart.
So we definitely know that BioWare is not working on Mass Effect. But they're working on a new Dragon Age game, but it may not be Dragon Age 4, according to recent comments from the game's creative director, Mike Laidlaw. Many gaming sites have ran with the story that Dragon Age 4 is in development, but Laidlaw has denied it in a tweet to an eager fan of the fantasy RPG series. He confirms that there is a Dragon Age project happening. It is not confirmed as the fourth main game in the series. Many sites have run with the rumor. There is a Dragon Age project happening. It is not confirmed as the fourth main game in the series. Many sites have run with the rumor, says Mike Laidlaw. So, not denying that there's a Dragon Age game coming.
Like, we know there's a Dragon Age game coming because on their website they were like asking people to like audition for, or like they were asking people for jobs specifically listed for Dragon Age. This was months ago. So it's like, yeah, they're making a Dragon Age game. If it's not like the next like storyline, I have an idea of what it could be. I kind of hope it's not though. It'd be cool. Not going too much into spoilers. It's possible you could play as Solus from a very, very long time ago, and which would explain like what's going on in Inquisition. Like what's happening, but I really hope that's not. I'm not trying to spoil stuff.
If they haven't already beat the game,
I haven't beat the game.
You know that Solus is the reason why the rift is in the sky.
Yes.
So, and then you find out at the very end that he's actually Fen'Harel, this elven god. He's the one who created the Fade. He separated all this stuff. Basically, he's a terrible guy.
Yeah.
Souls. And so it could be, playing all of that up to it, but I kind of hope it's not.
Yeah, I don't think it could be. I think it's the fourth iteration. It has to be.
It'll
But developers deny a lot. They do. They're like, this is totally not it. And then it comes out, they're like, gotcha.
It's like Warner Brothers. Yeah, we're totally not taking majority of the money from that Farthrog DLC.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 will not, and I repeat, not have a VR mode.
Cool.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 VR is not happening, which comes as quite a surprise considering the rather good X-Wing VR demo for Battlefront 1. In our interview with Metro, Star Wars Battlefront 2 designer John Stanley and Criterion General Manager Matt Webster confirmed the bad news, though did say that they had learned a lot from the VR demo, including how you deal with gameplay in a bigger space. When asked if there will be any VR options in the game, Webster replied with a flat-out no. Although he then goes on to say VR for Criterion is something that's very important. VR is going to be a part of the gaming's future in coming decade. At some point, we could sit down and spend a good number of hours talking about where VR needs to get to in order to work with that. Because in something like this, you're doing the job of a fighter pilot, and in the real world, that has a significant psychological effect on you, which would dramatically limit the audience. Matt mentioned at the start how the handling doesn't feel the same as in VR, and that doesn't That's because they're completely different beasts. But making the VR demo absolutely informed the work we're doing now. So there's a lot of VR missions sold in Starfighter Assault. Now, I'm fine with this. The reason I'm fine with this is because it seems like EA DICE is really, really doubling down on what Battlefront should actually be.
Yeah.
And that's fine with me. Cut out the fat. Give me something that I'm going to really enjoy playing. Because I never played the Starfighter mission. I'm sure it would be awesome to play. But if you're saying, do you want a story, or do you want some VR content that's going to be more like an experience?
Yeah.
I'm going to give me that story, because that's what I wanted in the first game.
Yep.
You just gave me a demo. Now, Robbie, we're gonna have to reach back in. We had to call the Triceratops back out. Allie, give us the gloves. We got to get our gloves back on.
Never took them in the first
Yep,
place.
she had them.
Over by your feet.
Nope, she's had them. She's over there like hosing them down.
We appreciate
This is
it.
what she's been doing. Doom for Switch has cut the Snap Map feature. Bethesda has announced that the level editing tool Snap Map will not be a feature in the Switch port of Doom. A representative of the company revealed Engage It, the popular feature that will be left out of the game when it comes to Nintendo Switch later this year. Snap Map allows players on PC, PS4, and Xbox One versions of Doom to create custom maps and new gameplay experiences by editing the game's logic. Maps can then be shared with players across the globe and available on every compatible platform. Switch players will therefore miss out on many user-generated maps and modes that expand the core experience of Doom. Aside from this, the game will ship with all the updates and DLC currently available on the alternative platform. It will also be revealed that multiplayer aspect of Doom for Switch will be missing from the physical cartridge due to size restraints. Players who don't own the digital version of the Nintendo eShop will be required to download a free update on launch to get the full experience. The digital version will include all available content in one large download. There you go, right there.
Yep, that's
Nintendo right there.
So Reggie.
That's Nintendo. Got all of it in there. Sometimes they're too full of it. So there's all the gaming news that you need to know right there.
Yeah, it is.
Now we're going to switch gears. Too fast.
I'm
too
so
furious.
Glad. I'm so glad I don't drive a stick anymore.
Are you also too furious?
I'm too furious.
I'm hungry.
You know what I'm too furious about? That there's not enough gaming news. I wish there was more.
Not enough
I'm
gaming
about to
news.
say, I
Like,
feel like
an
I was
hour and a half.
Now, what I'm not upset about is Arrow is getting one of my boys back. Ooh!
Good old Colt.
Colton Haynes basically has confirmed that he'll be back as Roy Harper this season.
Sorry, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you did. Jerk.
It's been well over a year since we last saw Roy Harper flipping around on Arrow. Pow, pow, pow. But it looks like that's all about to change during this coming season. Actor Colton Haynes has went on to Twitter, exchanging with a fan, revealed
Twitter.
The old Twitter has revealed that Roy Harper would be coming back very soon, which will not necessarily an official confirmation, but is as close as confirmation as we'll get. So we have this cat at Fill the Void 24 tweeting at old Colton Haynes, like, I seriously miss Roy so much, and I need him back soon. Okay, I miss seeing you in it. And then Colton Haynes at Colton L Haynes says, Roy is coming back very soon, and then he has like the smiley face with the hand.
He's like, hey.
Yeah.
That's what he says. What do you think? Do you want Roy Harper back?
Yeah, because we're seeing Thea be less and less involved in the fighting and the stopping of the bad guys, and I think Rory.
We need Arsenal.
I think we need Arsenal back. I was going to say Rory, but Arsenal.
And Arsenal back.
I think him helping that team, because right now they're still a young team trying to learn. Like, you have Mad Dog, you have Mr. Terrific.
Mm-hmm.
They're still learning how to be heroes. Yeah. So I think bringing in somebody who's well versed and knows what he's doing, I think would help out a lot. And I'm excited to see him back. I liked him in the older episodes.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. You know what else I'm excited about? Mark Guggenheim. He's talked more about some Deathstroke. Last week we talked about it. We were excited about it. Deathstroke coming in. Mark Guggenheim has explained Deathstroke's return for Arrow Season 6, the character played by the great Mono Bennett.
One arrow in life.
Made his TV debut during the show's first outing, became primary antagonist of Season 2. Now, Deathstroke is sticking around a bit longer this time, although the character still remains a villain as far from a willing ally. Arrow is diving deep into his storyline, giving him a 2-part narrative arc. While we do not know yet as how this will all tie into Oliver's main narrative, Guggenheim shares some interesting tidbits on how the show was able to utilize the character again, given that the DCEU is supposedly crafting their own version of the comic book villain previously announced to be played by Joe Manganiello. I guess that's what he says. Guggenheim says, it was a function of, DC controlled these characters. We went through the period where DC said, we've got plans for Deathstroke that don't include Arrow. That changed at the end of this year because I basically, we knew we were going to Lian Yu and we had to see Slade. So I went to DC and said, listen, I know you guys have a plan for him and, that's all cool, but you've got to give us this one because we can't go to Lian Yu and not see Slade Wilson. And as a part of these conversations, we also were like, and he'll also need to be in the season premiere of Season 6 because that ties into, our plans. And it really needs to be great if we could tell you, a Slade Wilson-centric story. We've never truly done that. So we're doing a cool 2-part episode 5 and 6 this year, and flashbacks will be from Slade's perspective, and it's very much a Slade-Oliver two-hander. It also is great having Mono on the show again. And again, it's like we just have to operate, within the requirements of DC. So it sounds like, Guggenheim, he was like, hey, we want Deathstroke.
We need Deathstroke.
We need Deathstroke. Our show's more important than your crap, which it is. And we got Deathstroke.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you for doing the Lord's work.
You did.
You brought Mono back.
Not Mono, but that's not the bad virus you get, but Mono.
Like when you drink out of a water fountain after some nasty hoe.
Nasty hoe is what you gonna do.
Nightwing movie will feature a lot of real stunt work, and that's good because CGI only goes so far.
You are and wires and tigers and bears.
Yeah, look at Star Wars. We go more practical. It looks a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Nightwing director Chris Mackie promises that his DC Extended Universe film will be an action-packed movie full of practical effects and real stunt work. I'm bringing Jackie Chan in. I made that up. The solo character film is the one of several upcoming productions set to be released as part of Warner Brothers' DCEU slate and will center on the superhero of the same name. As is the case with many comic book superheroes, the Nightwing persona has been inhabited by a number of different characters over the years. McKay's film, however, will specifically focus on Dick Grayson's version after he has moved on from the previous role of serving as Batman's vigilante partner, Robin. Or, as the Italians would say, Robin. Not really. Right now, official details regarding what Nightwing will be about are few to be found. Aside from McKay, only the accountant screenwriter's Dill Boubois is currently, I guess that's how you say his name, is currently attached to the project. A casting announcement for the title character has not yet been made either, nor is there a tentative release date in place. So there's nothing known. We're just getting real practical effects. They're doing real stunt work.
Yeah.
I hope they hire John Hamm as Nightwing. That's a lie. Ismahawk would be really cool.
I've seen a lot of people who are talking about wanting to do it. One is the kid from Drake and Josh, or I guess he's not a kid.
Josh Bell?
Yeah.
Drake or Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one is it?
Josh.
The tall, skinny one.
Well, they're both skinny now.
Well, in the show, tall, skinny guy.
That was Drake.
Yeah. Did I say Josh?
Yeah, you're saying Josh.
Whatever. Drake Bell. I said Josh Bell. So I had part of it.
And Drake Bell.
Yeah, Drake Bell.
Those are important distinctions.
Now, Ismahawk. Have you ever seen Ismahawk?
Didn't he do?
He did the YouTube like live action
Nightwing. Yeah.
I think he would be really cool to have him in there. I doubt that they pick him for that role. I could see them going with somebody like Shia LaBeouf. I wouldn't put it past them.
God. Everybody run from
or
Shia
Justin
LaBeouf.
Bieber. They picked Jared Leto for the Joker. Why not Justin Bieber for Nightwing?
I would legit just go outside.
I mean, I would at least want to see Will Smith
as Nightwing.
As Will Smith.
As Will Smith as Will Smith.
As Nightwing as Will Smith.
As Deathstroke as Will Smith. Deadshot. Not Deathstroke. Whatever.
It could happen in the new Aladdin movie.
I don't really have a pick for somebody that I would want to be that. Ismahawk, just because he's made that, he's done the stunt work, like he does his own stunt work and everything. I think he has the chops for it. I don't really know any Ryan Gosling. I'd say I'd like a Ryan Gosling. You know what I mean?
Sure.
No, I'm just saying, like, he's got the look. He would sell. He's a good actor.
Go for it.
I honestly prefer for them to either get someone who they know they could do it, or find someone who has the talent but they don't have a big name yet.
Like Ryan Gosling.
No.
Please, child, please.
So to find some new talent, because Hollywood's in that point where it's like it's the same actors in like every movie, so just get some fresh blood in there.
I got it. Vin Diesel.
Oh yeah, no. I take it back.
I was gonna say Brad Pitt.
What about oh my god,
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, thank you.
Vin Diesel.
No, it always comes back to Jeff Goldblum.
Life will find a way for Jeff Goldblum.
No, it's always back to Vin Diesel. I'm going back to the beginning. Vin Diesel for Nightwing.
I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna Photoshop Jeff Goldblum in a Nightwing outfit.
Oh god.
Heck yeah.
Now, last week we talked about Star Wars. They fired that guy, John Trevorrow or whatever his last. What was his? Look
Trevorrow.
at that. Trevorrow. I think it's John. Jimmy.
Mr. Trevorrow.
He's fired.
Danny Trejo.
No, not Danny Trejo. Nobody would fire Danny Trejo.
He's like, what? Hey, we're just playing, man. We're just kidding.
It's like spelled weird.
Okay, you keep going. I'll find it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we talked about who we want to come in for episode 9.
And that person did it.
Yeah, and the one where I said, I want this person for this. And we talked about it, and we were like, yeah, that would be a good choice. So, J.J. Abrams is now officially confirmed to replace Colin. Oh, it's right there in the title. Trevorrow. Whatever. He got fired. As Star Wars Episode 9 director. When it was announced that the Jurassic World helmer, Colin, had left Star Wars Episode 9 director's chair empty, both J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson's names emerged as potential replacement. Now, Downline reports that Johnson declined the offer, but Abrams is in talk with Lucasfilm to return to the franchise after steering The Force Awakens to much massive success. J.J. Abrams had, they go on to talk about other stuff. I love it. I just had McDonald's as well. Could you smell it? Can you smell?
I don't want to smell that anymore. But I like J.J. Abrams for this. He's the one that started us out on this journey, and I'm perfectly because there's already people who made a petition.
They make a petition not to have him on.
I'm like, child, get out of here. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams is a great storyteller. He's a great director, and I think he's going to do well.
Yeah, I'm glad it's back in his hands. I wanted him. I know Derek said this as well, but when it was announced, we thought that he was going to be on all 3 films, which would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But, then they did all this, whatever, slicing it up and everything. But I'm glad that he's directing the final of the 3, and tying it all together. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. He did a great job with the first one because it still felt like that original trilogy while still having that, whole fresh, for introducing new stuff. He did a great job, so I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with it.
So fresh and so clean. Ain't nobody don't ask me. I'm just so fresh and so clean. Game of Thrones Season 8 will reportedly film several different endings for the series finale.
With your mic and my cup on it, there's a lot of reverb. All right.
Before season 7 of Game of Thrones aired, detailed spoilers for the entire 7-episode run leaked online. Clearly not wanting a repeat of that situation, HBO is reportedly taking steps to ensure that secrets of the series finale stay hidden. According to HBO programming president Casey Bloys, the network is planning to shoot multiple endings, which means that even the main cast members won't know which outcome they'll be running with until season 8 finale airs. I know in Game of Thrones, the ending, they're going to shoot multiple versions so that nobody really knows what happens. Bloys was quoted as saying, you have to do that on a long show because when you're shooting something, people know, so they're going to shoot multiple versions so that that's not really a definitive answer until the end. So what do you think? Do you think that's a good strategy for them to take?
Anything that you can do to try to keep this from happening, because I know Holly got it ruined for her last year that one of the dragons die.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. We haven't watched that season 7.
And all that was because of the leaks. Because once I found that out, I stayed off of Facebook.
Yeah.
And, anything that you can do to keep that from happening again, I'm go for it. I mean, if this is the best thing that you can come up with, I guess that works.
Well, and even, for them, their stuff, they put out some of the episodes early. HBO accidentally put out episodes early, and then the whole season was, out as well. So it's one of those things, it's just, they're trying to do whatever they can to make it work. But I know that the actors have to check out physical copies of the scores of the scripts and turn them back in. They cannot take them out anywhere, so they don't send them online. They don't do any of that stuff. For them to do this, I think it's a good way to make sure that nobody knows the exact ending. They could be well, this is ending 1, this is the other ending that I shot, this is the next ending, and this is. But I don't think everybody will be involved in each one of them. So it's going to be okay, well, here's one ending, and then you try to get somebody else to crack and give you the next ending, but you're not going to have them all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go.
Yes, I needed to share this. It's my favorite joke that came out of what happened.
Yeah.
Blanket lies.
It's true.
It is.
Feels sad.
Yeah.
It was sad. It's a great joke.
There's several theories that we cannot get on this show.
We will be here for.
We'll be here forever. We'll be here forever.
We would be.
Why haven't we seen Hodor as one of the whites?
His soul's too pure.
That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Go home, Allie. You're drunk.
No, his soul's too pure.
No.
It's what you tell yourself to sleep at night.
No.
I don't know. You would expect.
What if he murders Bran?
That could be.
How meta would that be?
It would be
just
I'm tired of carrying you.
He just because he's a 3-eyed raven. He's kind of the enemy of the Night King. It seems like.
Yeah.
He sends Hodor after him. Hold it up. That was still one of the best moments of television.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. There's all the news that you need to know. We are now in the fourth part, the fourth part of our show. This is the rotating fourth segment. Each and every week, we talk about different subjects. Beginning of each month, we talk about the old shout out to Netflix.
Yes.
That is currently not on Netflix. It is on HBO now, or HBO Go. And that is the Defiant Ones. That's the one you started watching, unfortunately.
Yeah. I made an error in our scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
I started trying to watch the Defiant Ones, but I should have been watching One Punch Man, which is what our animation superstation Weeaboo watch is this week. So Allie and Zach will be taking the major ham. I just talk a little bit about what I know.
So let's run through. Okay. That's what when Robbie told me that he was watching Defiant Ones and not shout out to Netflix is Defiant Ones, which is on HBO Go or HBO Now, and then we have
HBO in general.
Yeah, on HBO in general, and then we have Time for Comics, which is volume 2 of Lock and Key. And then we have We Read, which is the second half of Apollo, Trials of Apollo.
Which we found out that reading a book in a month is not as easy as it sounds.
Yes. And then to close it all out is what we're talking about today, which is our animation superstation Weeaboo Watch, and that is One Punch Man Season 1, the only season that's out there.
Now, we'll go with what...
I'm going to let you talk about the 2 episodes that you watched, my friend.
I like the character. I think One Punch Man is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I like the premise of, he's super bored.
Yeah.
I mean, literally he beats people with
one punch.
A single punch. So, once we get to see some more people who can actually challenge him, and I think you'll see more excitement out of him because, that's the excitement level you get from him is okay. But I will finish it, and then I will give a small snippet of what I really think about the show. Because there's how many episodes?
There's 12.
12. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not long.
So I'm halfway there.
You're a 6 of the way there.
Don't
I
think
had to check
about
my mouth almost to the 4th, and I was like, no.
Don't give him that much credit. So I'll give mine. I finished it up earlier today. I enjoyed this a lot.
And it's something that we should have gotten into a long time ago.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks,
but, it's kind of like Attack on Titan. It just didn't happen. It happened.
Sure.
It happened when it happened. Life found a way.
Life always finds a way.
And when it happens, it's special. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Animation looks great. It is more of a new style animation. The thing that I really enjoyed about this show was that just the dumb faces. The thing that I really enjoyed about the show was the way the storytelling happened. It seemed like nothing was really going on. Like there's no overarching story.
Yeah.
On an evil side of things. Like you think somebody's going to be the overarch villain or whatever, and that never happens. Like you are literally just living a day by day existence with, how do you say his name? Saitama. Okay.
I wasn't about to try to pronounce it on here.
It's either Saitama or Saitama. I think it's Saitama actually.
Saitama. Okay, so you're living a day-to-day thing, and you see his transformation from a everyday businessman to the One Punch Man. And it's very interesting just how that happened. The big lobster monster. But you see that happen, and just the okays keeps getting me. But it is so well done. One of the things, we'll show the lobster monster.
Actually, no, that has him in it. It's a small picture, but he's in it. So.
Yeah, well, that's a really small picture.
Yeah, it is a really small picture. Oh.
The smallest picture we can find of this.
There you go. Enjoy, guys.
So you see him there before becoming One Punch Man. The thing that I love about this show is it pokes at so many tropes that are in the anime genre, where villains or heroes talk all the flipping time. They go on and on and on, and
or they power up an attack for 2 episodes.
Yeah, and you just one point he's like 20 words or less. He stops somebody. He's like, "Shut up." He was like, "Are you done?" It's always that kind of I'm not going to waste my time on you. That kind of deal. But he's such an interesting character because he's doing this because it's fun. He's doing it because he wants to do it. It's not like I was transformed into this thing by this, and all the other superheroes are like, oh, I'm this person, I'm rank this and class this and just all of this, and he's just just punching people. He doesn't really care. And that's one of the cool things about it. It makes fun of the whole anime thing where everybody's all the time always talking. But it's interesting as well. His animation a lot of the time is this just simple dopey face, but as soon as like it kicks into like actual
butt kicking time,
it goes into that like normal anime
right above okay.
Right, you want
no down.
You said right above okay.
Right above the other okay.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, Allie.
It changes it back into that like style that we're normally seeing and everything, and it's just so interesting how they do it and how they weave in and out of everything. And yes, okay. I guess that's my like red light on the back of the room telling me to shut up.
I'm just like showing like the two. Like,
yeah. It's this totally different style, and it's not just him. We see it with Terrible Tornado later in the series when we get more of them. But the last few episodes are really, really good. When we get to see the Sea King, and when we get to see Boros. Which is the big baddie at the very end of the show, is just really awesome. And they leave you with a cliffhanger that deals with Genos. And I think Genos is one of the more interesting and cool characters. He's the robot. Have you met the bionic guy? The cyborg?
In episode 3.
Yeah, I haven't seen him yet.
He's really cool. Like he the whole time, like he's really powerful and all of this, but he understands that Saitama or Saitaman, whatever.
Saitama.
One Punch Man is, the end all be all, but nobody else realizes this.
Yeah.
And he wants to be his disciple and everything. And it's just, he realizes how much he actually sacrifices for the greater good. Because there are several episodes, and I'm not going to spoil it for you or people that haven't watched it, where One Punch Man is doing something that actually hurts him, like his reputation or how he's viewed, to make everybody else not seem as bad or seem like they've failed or something. So it's just very interesting at how he goes about things, that he's not in it for the boost in reputation or anything. He's in it to actually save people's lives for the greater good. And Genos is one of the people that only see that. What?
I was like, I'm telling Robbie, like, it's that.
Yeah, that
one.
Okay. The Sonic
Speed Sound or something like
Sonic Speed Sound. He's a very interesting foe for One Punch Man. There's one instance, and I'm going to ruin this for you just because it's hilarious. Him and One Punch Man, what is it? Speed of Sound Sonic. Speed of Sound Sonic. Stupid name. He's a ninja or whatever.
I love him. He's so great.
He is fighting One Punch Man, and One Punch Man like punches him in the junk.
Okay, there's a very important distinction. He moves his fist. He doesn't actually punch him, because if he did,
there wouldn't be any junk there. So like he gets dinked in his dink.
Like even just like holding his fist there, just like stopping his fist, like it's still like, I mean, granted, getting hit in the junk is gonna hurt, but like he's on the ground like crying.
And like he's like this BA of a character, but like that happens, and like the comedy value starts in. It's just a great blend of comedy and action, and like has a little bit of drama in there as well. But the cast and crew of the whole show is just interesting. Like you got Prisoner, which is one of the weirdest ones, but he's also he's obsessed with pretty men, and like he chases them down, and like his ultimate form is like he busts out of all of his clothes and he's naked.
Right over here, he's kind of covered up.
But he's very interesting. I love his character just because of that. But it's just this nice like amalgamation of like all these different tropes and everything, but with this fresh take on, like, there's not this overarching story of evil that is actually focused on the main character. Because you look at Dragon Ball Z, it's like whoever the main villain is, like all that story leads up to that final fight. This one's like, boom, I kill everybody with one punch. Like it's just, you know what I mean? Like it's that kind of deal. So Allie, what is your take on it? I know you watched it a while ago,
yeah, I
but
watched it a while ago. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. It was last month. No, I adore it. Like when I first watched, my friend and I first watched it. It was shortly after it first came out. They were like, "Yeah, we heard it's really good, so we'll sit down and watch it." And then like we watched it was the first episode, and we were like, "This is the best thing we've ever seen." Because it was kind of like in a row. You were like, "Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of like good, like animes out there, whatever," or like there were coming.
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And so like watching this and how it's mocking, but it's still in that form at the same time. It's a really like nice like breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, like there's so many of these awesome characters that you come to know and love. They all have these different cool abilities, and then you have Saitama, excuse me. He's just like
We butcher it. It's okay.
It's either way.
One Punch Man.
He just because you're so used to like in these things, like if you saw this poster, like if you didn't see the One Punch Man, you'd probably think that Genos was the main character just because of the art style, and it's the stereotypical art, like anime, like face sharp edges that you typically see, and then you had this beautiful little potato man.
Like you would think he would be the Krillin of the group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would think he would be the Krillin of the group, and he's not.
He's the strongest of the group.
Yeah.
He's the Goku.
And then also just the whole joke with him, like he's like, because he doesn't want to teach Genos at first. He's like, no, I'm not gonna be like your master or whatever. Like go somewhere else. And Genos is like, no, I'll help you pay rent. And then he's like, well, come on in. So he's aside from like the super strength, they made Saitama like a really like relatable character. That aspect, he's like, I just want to pay rent. I just want to go get food.
Like when he first becomes a hero, like they do a class rank system, like C, B, and A, and like there's like you have to go up the whole numbers to like get to the next rank or whatever. He's sitting around like he was in class C because like his writing exam sucked. Like he passed because he had such a good score on the physical side of it. Like he beat everybody on that. But like he's been sitting at home like all week doing nothing but like just eating and like reading stuff or whatever, watching TV. And Genos was like, you have to meet a quota of like at least one superhero act every week when you're a rank C or whatever. He's like, what? How many days do I have? He's like, you have 2 or you're out as a superhero. And it's just like little things like that.
Yeah. And of course you have honestly the best character in the entire show. Human Rider riding in on his bike in all his glory.
The what is it? Cyclist for Justice.
Yeah, the Cyclist for Justice. He's just on his bike. Like I think it's whenever they're fighting the Sea King. Like he's on his bike. And he's just like, everyone, you have to get out of town.
He's like cycle of justice and like throws his like bike at this huge like 3-story tall monster.
I love him. It's so good. Yeah, there's just all these really fun characters, and they're making a season 2 apparently, but they've kind of fallen to the Attack on Titan
route of waiting forever.
Yeah, because like we knew that it was gonna get pushed, but it came out in the fall of whatever, and it was supposed to be. They're like, oh, second season confirmed for next spring. My friend and I were like, it'll probably get pushed to summer because there's no way it's gonna come out in the spring. But we're like, oh my god, that's so cool. There's already going to be a season that soon. And then it never happened.
See, that's one thing that I like about old animes. Like, it was consistent.
It was.
And they're also, like, now if you go back and watch them, everything's out. You can actually watch it all.
Yeah, and it's like these newfangled things.
Whippersnapper anime.
They don't know what they're doing over there. They're just waiting for 3 years. You know?
You go back and watch Dragon Ball.
Like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. Like, all of it came, like, it was like boom, 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 And the only reason that it seemed like it didn't do that was because Toonami wouldn't buy the freaking rights for anything past the freaking Cell Saga.
Oh, I know.
And before that, wouldn't buy anything past the Frieza Saga, so we kept watching Saiyan to Frieza, and then we finally got the Cell Saga, and then we finally got the Majin Buu Saga. But, they at least had made that stuff. We were just waiting for it over here.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to do. We didn't have freaking Crunchyroll.
We did not.
But, like, I'm hoping that they make more of it because I absolutely loved it, and you definitely need to watch it.
I'm going to watch some more of it tonight, actually.
It's so good. Yeah, and then seeing like how he becomes One Punch Man and like you finally learn his secret, and it's so worth it.
Yeah, it's great. So let us know what you think of One Punch Man down in the comments, because I'm curious to see how it ranks in your Mount Rushmore of anime.
And
it's pretty high on mine.
Well, actually, they were doing the Defiant ones. Not this week, but it's next week.
Yeah, next week is the Defiant one. So make sure that you're checking that out. It is a 4-part documentary series going over Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre's relationship and their history in the music biz. And if you don't know who either one of these guys are, I don't know what you've been doing in their life, you probably know Dr. Dre, but Jimmy Iovine has worked with artists such as Tom Petty.
And Tom Petty.
Tom Petty, Dr. Dre. He's worked with U2. He's worked with, oh God, what is her name?
Beyonce.
He's worked
Katy
with
Perry.
He's worked with Beyonce. He's worked with a ton of people. He's worked with John Lennon. You know, he's worked with them all.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's one of the biggest names there's ever been in the producing business. So it's very interesting. I loved it. I love the way they shot everything. So I can't wait to talk with that about you.
About me?
Yep. You know exactly what I mean. So
I do.
Everybody let us know what you thought of One Punch Man down below. And you've been listening and watching the Nerd Cave podcast. You can get everything early over on patreon.com/nerdcave. You can get it early there. You can watch us record it live each and every week. Or you can pay a little bit more and get that nice edited version.
Yeah.
You could watch the live version and be like, oh, I wonder how does Zach do? Did he actually change Robbie's name from over here to over there? Or did he accidentally make one that was a little bit higher and that was still over here? Did he? Because I did last week because I forgot one. So you could get that version. You can get that early. Or you can just wait like everybody else.
We need a new...
Yeah, we do. I'm about to...
You had one?
No. Go ahead. We doing a weeaboo or are we doing like an anime?
This is a weeaboo.
Okay.
It's called Fate Zero.
I've heard of that.
Is it on
It
Netflix?
Is on Netflix.
Okay.
It's one that I've heard good things, and I've only watched the first episode.
Mm-hmm. So you've almost watched as much of this one
as I did about what we're supposed to talk about today.
Okay. Did you put Fade Zero?
Put Fade, yeah. I don't know how to spell apparently.
It's okay. Neither do we. We can't pronounce people. But like it takes a lot of really cool characters. For the first episode that I saw, it's actually really good. It's a bunch of people who are in quest for the Holy Grail. So, Fate Zero, we'll talk about it on the Weeaboo Watch next month. Yeah,
next month. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there you go, guys. So if you don't want to toss us a few dollars over at patreon.com, you can go over to youtube.com/nerdcavenetwork and get it day by day, segment by segment, like that kitten that's been chopped up.
Oh, poor kitty.
Dead kitty. Or you can get it all on Friday, where we put everything out for everyone on podcast services and YouTube around the globe. So there you go. Episode 224 is in the book, man.
Close this chapter.
We've got to go wash off our gloves.
Allie has to go wash off. So she still has them.
Yeah, she still has them. She's been over there sniffing them. It's a little weird.
I mean, we don't judge here. We don't judge here at the Nerd Cave.
So everybody, this has been Zach
and Robbie.
Have a week.